Ciao e bentornati, welcome back to Pillole D'Italiano. Today's episode number 89, is going to be a bit different from usual. First of all, I'm showing you a different corner of this wonderful room that I love to record my videos in. This is my spare bedroom and I called it the whale room because I don't know if you can see behind me over there and on this other side and on the other wall, there is whale-inspired art everywhere. I just found out a couple of years ago that whales bring me joy and peace, and this is where I feel most inspired. So here I am showing you a different corner and also showing you a different aspect of myself, so to speak. I was talking with a client of mine earlier today, and for some reason we ended up talking about gelato because why not? With half of my clients we end up talking about food. Maybe it's Italian in me, but oh no, now I remember. We were talking about the expression avere voglia di, which basically loosely translates as to feel like, or to feel like doing something, or to feel like having something. You could use it with a verb or with a noun coming afterwards. And so we were talking about avere voglia di gelato, ho voglia di gelato. Guess what? We both ended up really craving ice cream. And I was telling him a bit about my technique when I go to Italy. Of course, when I go back to Italy, I really eat a lot of ice cream because it's delicious. It's everywhere, way more accessible than it is here. Good ice cream. That's what I'm talking about. Way more accessible than it is here in the United States. So I was sharing with this client of mine a couple of ways that you can go about ordering ice cream, right? You walk into that gelateria and you can order ice cream by the cone or the little cup. So the first thing that you're going to say is una coppetta if you want the little cup, or un cono if you want the cone, and then you're going to specify how many scoops you want. Gusti, so flavors. Una coppetta due gusti, per favore. And you just order a little cup with 2 flavors. Or un cono tre gusti if you're really hungry and you want 3 different flavors. Okay, I know what you might be thinking. Ludo, this is nothing new for me. I already knew how to order ice cream when I'm in Italy. Thank you. Well, I just want to add something. This is my trick. I don't know if it's just a personal trick. Maybe half of the Italian population is aware of this and the other half doesn't care, but I decided to share this with you too, as I did with my client earlier. My trick for getting the flavor that you like the most put at the bottom of your cone or your cup, so that you can conclude that little snack or that substitute meal with your favorite flavor. Well, the person who works in an ice cream shop, il gelataio or la gelataia, if we're talking about a woman, is very knowledgeable about gelato and knows really very, very well what the consistency of all these different gusti flavors, what the consistency is like. And so you might have not noticed it, but when you walk up at the counter and you say un cono or una coppetta, and then you start listing the flavors that you want. Well, I don't know if you noticed this, but oftentimes they wait until you're done listing all the flavors that you want before they start scooping them on the cone or in a little cup. And this is because they want to make sure to put on the bottom the flavor that is more dense and stable, so that you don't, walk out of that gelateria and after 30 seconds have all of your ice cream collapsed on the ground, especially, in the heat of an Italian summer. What happens is that this might lead you to have your least favorite flavor at the bottom, just because of the consistency. And maybe you don't care. I remember growing up and being very, very bothered by it, especially when I was pairing flavors such as, fruit sorbet and yogurt, where yogurt is like richer and creamier, and fruit sorbet, because it's water-based, it's more solid. It keeps its shape for a little longer, and no kid really wants to end up on a fruit note. I always hope to get the cream, yogurt or otherwise, or chocolate, say, towards the bottom of my cup or the cone. And I was very, very often disappointed until one day I kind of discovered this by mistake. I was just taking my time because I knew one of the flavors that I wanted and I was deciding on the second one. I knew, of course, the favorite one that I wanted and I was deciding what to pair it with. And so I started saying cioccolato, and I kind of waited. And I noticed that since I was waiting that long, actually Il Gelataio started putting chocolate on the bottom. And I figured, okay, I just won the lottery, at least in my head. I was a kid and that was exciting back then. I'm still excited about this. Anyway, now I do it consistently every single time. I know before stepping foot into a gelateria, I know already what flavors I want. And what I do is that I use this technique so that I would say my favorite flavor first, and then I take a long break. And sometimes it just becomes a sort of a staring context where I'm just looking and pretending to think, and the person on the other side of the counter is looking at me, waiting for me to say the second or the third flavor, and I'm just not gonna budge. Put that chocolate on the bottom and everything else on top after you give me the first scoop. So I don't know if today's episode is actually bringing any useful information to you. Maybe it's just entertaining, seeing a full grown-up getting so excited about gelato, especially chocolate ice cream. But I just wanted to share with you my trick to order ice cream when I'm in Italy. And I truly hope you enjoyed today's episode. If so, don't forget to like it. Subscribe to the channel if you're new to it, so you're not going to miss any future episode. Oh, and before you go, leave me a comment in the comment section below. Let me know what your favorite flavor, ice cream flavor is. I'm curious. And I will see you soon in a week. Ciao, presto!